for some people this can seem so utterly hopeless because you are not just going after one outcome, because you're trying to address a system of problems in a way with the adolescent, with their family. Is there hope? Can you do this? Can you succeed?
Yes, we can succeed.
I see kids from as young as 11 or 12 up until they're about 18 from every sort of family configuration you can imagine.
What I was seeing was youth that had been gang raped. So these were young adolescents, and they were raped by multiple different perpetrators.
Each story is different and unique, and each teen has their own story.
Developmentally, a teenager often doesn't know what's going to happen when they drink alcohol. And when you had perpetrators deciding that they were going to give the teenager alcohol on purpose, setting the kid up to be raped by themselves and their friends, that was just a horrible crime. And not surprisingly, after that happened, youth don't tell anyone that that happened because they're ashamed, and there's stigma of being sexually abused, and that stigma exists in all cultural groups.
Sometimes, for some families, this is one child that really struggles with their coping, and running becomes sort of a pattern of ineffective coping, really, for them. Becomes really a way that they harm themselves, put themselves in risky situations by leaving home and not being where they need to be.
I was also seeing kids that were sexually exploited. So these were kids that were being prostituted by adults. So again, it was somebody deciding that they were going to be doing something really horrible to a youth.
In the community, we're able to do good evidence-based practice to really look at them and their needs, both, physical and emotional, and hand deliver their treatment.
It was the first program of its kind to provide care by an advanced practice nurse to runaway youth.
One of the reasons that we find a nurse practitioner model to be effective with this population is that we can assess what their healthcare needs are, and we can actually provide healthcare to them. It doesn't require them to go somewhere else. It doesn't require them to establish a relationship with multiple different people, but it does provide them the opportunity for a comprehensive assessment and then the treatment that might be indicated.
I've assessed and diagnosed and treated sexually transmitted infections, ruled out pregnancies, all the way from kids' homes to parks to rundown donut shops. We strive to really meet these kids in their community.
Youth that have had this experience, if they get the right type of interventions, can put that experience in a box. It's something that they're always going to carry with them. And I wish it's something that I could erase that memory of those horrible, whether it's one night or youth that are sexually exploited, and something that goes on for weeks or months. And I wish I'd be able to take that away. But what I can do is provide you with skills to be able to help you have a trauma story or a trauma narrative about what has happened to you. And I can take care of all of the other co-occurring risk behaviors that I know are going to happen with increasing frequency because you have run away or because you have been sexually abused.
He called me one day and he said, "Julie, I need to come and see you in the clinic." Rarely does that happen. It's usually us going to see the patients in the community. And I said to him, "Okay, no problem." Didn't ask him why, it didn't matter. I knew that he needed something different than what we typically did when I saw him somewhere else. And he came in and he was suicidal. And he was really in need of someone that knew him and could support him. And he said, "I knew you'd show up for me."
After the intensive intervention happens, when the Runaway Intervention Program, these young children who have been traumatized, abused, all of those bad things that none of us could really imagine. After 6 months, a year into the program, on the issues of incidents of actual self-harm, suicidal thoughts, and teen pregnancy, these victimized children do as well or better than their peers in the Minnesota Student Survey.
If you ask them at the end of the program, do you think that the Runaway program helped you, or what kinds of things were you able to accomplish? Most of the kids say some version of, "It saved my life." And I think that if you look at it from that perspective, that's pretty powerful.
The program is not going to exist without support. And that is something that really has brought tears to my eyes sometimes, both in gratitude that people have believed in this program, but also sometimes at night I'm just sort of fearful, am I going to be able to keep it going? And I'm sorry to become tearful, but I believe in what we're doing so strongly, and I really believe it works. I really believe it makes a difference in youth lives.
How can you tell a teen and a struggling family that we don't have time for them?
These are kids at just the beginning of adolescence. They have, with the right interventions, they really have time to heal, because I really do believe that adolescents can heal from even really bad things that happen to them.
It's just such an amazing program. How do you put it into words?